Okay then, dudes. Well, I've just got up. Sorry about that. But, yeah, I've had a little nap because my sleep pattern's been messed up lately. I've been overclocking, pushing it as far as I can go, pretty much. Well, I don't go too extreme, you know. I have had incidents in the past, during my early overclocking days where, yeah, it's just not gone very well. However, I don't think I've ever fried a chip. No. They are very hardy, you know, they can withstand a lot. 100 degrees. And apparently these newer chips, they can withstand like 110 degrees. So, wow, that's just insane. Anyway, sorry about this, guys. I know it's my ministry channel, and I thought I'd post something on here, IT-wise, because I've been doing it since I was a teenager. My first computer was, and I built an AMD Athlon 2700, I think, XP, and then I got the 3000 XP, like, so shortly after that. So, ooh, with this gigabyte motherboard, and back then, oh, they were dire. Everything would go wrong. Anyway, for some reason, when I was younger, doing computers and something, and so on, for some reason, you could never ever get graphics drivers that worked. And then, like, after about 10 years or so, there was this big breakthrough. Oh, now graphics drivers work, everybody. You're not going to get crashes. Oh, back then, oh, it's terrible, terrible. But yeah, been doing it that long, guys, since I was at college. And I thought I'd share what I found, overclocking wise. In the past, I just override everything, fixed, yeah. You had to do it like that, because nothing would work properly. However, nowadays, you can set it to, I don't let it auto turbo, you know, that kind of thing. However, adaptive voltage control, I believe, is the safest and best way to go. Some people might argue otherwise, but if you want a stable system, there are certain things the computer knows what to do, and yeah, you can leave it on auto and it will do a better job than you ever could. And then there are things that it really doesn't know how to do, and it's like, what are you doing? Why? Leave it alone. And adaptive voltage control is one of those things. It gets right. Okay. I'm just gonna flip my screen. Sorry about this, guys. Okay, here we go. It's more convenient just to flip my camera like this instead of run a screen capture. But basically, up here, core voltage mode. Yeah. Now, you probably see these guys online, and I've done it. You know, I've taken their advice and I've gone for a core voltage offset to try and drop the voltage. You can undervolt your CPU, but yeah, this is the thing. When you undervolt your CPU, you might come here and, oh, okay, here we go, let's undervolt. No. This is going up. Yeah, I've got to mention this, guys. I've made this mistake in the past. okay, if you're looking to undervolt your CPU, bear in mind these are positive figures. This is going up. You'll overvolt it if you just go up like this. You have to scroll up here. There are the minus figures. Yeah, don't make that mistake, guys, okay? If you're undervolting, make sure it's a minus figure. It's a little bit confusing because you come here and you can't see the minus figures, you know. I think it should default in the middle somewhere, like that, so you can see, oh yeah, I need to go that way. So, yeah, I think it was my office computer. I was, oh yeah, let's undervolt, going up here. Oh dear. Yeah, not good, especially when you consider you could cause damage to your CPU that way. If you just keep going up, yeah, thinking, oh, I'm undervolting, but you're not really, you're going the other way. So yeah, if you go into undervolt, bear in mind, you've got to go for the minus figures. However, you might want to just leave that alone, because you don't really need to. You're not really going to save much heat by undervolting. You will save a bit of energy. It's like, seriously, is it worth it when you could change this from adaptive to static? That's what I've noticed. And then you've got all kinds of problems. When you tweak with some of these settings, I can't remember if tweaking that changes this automatically from adaptive to static. When it does that, you may experience like startup problems. Your computer won't start, and you're thinking, oh, what's going on, you know, and you're playing with all these thinking, come on, what's happened here? And basically what I found was I'd unplug my game controller, for example. I've got a black screen starting up. I just unplug that, or an external hard drive, and then, hey presto, yeah, the computer starts straight away. Right, the reason for that is because you're not getting enough voltage, okay? You've been messing around with voltage settings, and now it's changed that from adaptive to static. So when your computer starts, your peripherals are causing it not to start up because you're not getting enough voltage supplied, basically, which is why it's best just to leave that on adaptive. Again, it knows what it's doing, okay? Now there's a really cool setting with my motherboard. Actually, my office one, my older motherboard, the office one, has this setting. So this one's probably got it, definitely got it, and that is V-core voltage mode, adaptive plus offset. So there's an adaptive and fixed, yeah, mode in MSI BIOS. But there's also an option for adaptive plus offset. So you get the best of both worlds. Yeah, you get to undervolt a bit. Yeah, try and squeeze as much out of it at the lowest possible voltage. Or if you're extreme overclocking the other way, you know, go a bit more voltage without that coming off of adaptive. So that's great. That's one thing it just knows how to do, okay? Automatic voltage settings, yeah, this adaptive thing. And I mean, that's because the user isn't going to know exactly how much voltage each and every component in the PC needs 24/7, you know, the whole time it's running. But the system will, so just leave that on adaptive, I find. Now, the other thing, now this is something with previous versions. I don't know if it's because it was early days for TVB, thermal velocity boost, or what, but my older system couldn't get this thing right with thermal velocity boost, where if you enabled it, it would automatically underclock your system by silly amounts, you know, so like drop it to less than 1 gigahertz because it thinks it's idle. Oh yeah, nothing's going on, I'm going to drop it. I'm going to drop it to less than 1 gigahertz, and you're like, what are you doing? Leave my CPU alone. You know, I want it at 5.3, you know, constantly. Yeah? You don't drop it unless there's a temperature issue, right? But yeah, that older system, it just loved to do whatever it wanted. If you enabled TVB, which included underclocking way too much. However, this newer system, my 13th gen i5, my 13600K, it doesn't do that, number one. Number two, it has all these extra epic settings. Okay, TVB has come a long way. Maybe it was early days for it, and that's why I couldn't use it with the older system, and I just have to, like I did in the past, I had to settle for a fixed VCore, fixed ratio, because it just didn't know what it was doing here. Now it does. Now you can enable TVB and say when you get to 72 degrees, drop 1 on cores 1 and 2, yeah, per core tuning here, very specific, amazing. Once it then gets to 74, drop another 100 megahertz, yeah. But those other cores, they got hotter than cores 1 and 2, so I've had to tell them to drop a couple of increments each time, 200 megahertz each time. So, and it does it, it gets it right, guys. Yeah, really impressed with TVB now. But I think my older 10th gen CPU, I was a bit shocked that not even the 10th gen CPUs can use TVB to its full potential, you know, that it was still early days, and you don't get these, yeah, offsets. Even when I went in the BIOS, okay, and tried to do it that way, it just wouldn't get it right. Anyway, there we go. Quick video. Best way to go is leave everything default. Okay, don't play with this. Okay, it defaulted to 4.5. Okay, with processor cache ratio, and me not realizing, being an idiot, thought, oh, why is that at 4.5? It needs to match my you know, active core tuning up here. It should be 5.3. No. Perhaps with other CPUs I've had, but not this one. When it resets your overclock settings, okay, you'll find that it's set this to 4.5. Leave that alone. Don't play around with this, okay? Don't try and match it. Leave that and that default, and just tweak these, okay? We've got 5.3 on cores 1 and 2, 3 and 4 as well. I've got a new fan and managed to drop the temps a bit, so I went quad core 5.3. And yeah, whichever cores get too hot, drop the increments a bit more. And with these settings, I don't exceed 84 degrees, and if I did, I'd probably underclock, and that's in Cinebench, guys. Now, yeah, I think it's even a bit less. What did I get the other day? I got a new fan, a Noctua Beast, yeah, premium fan, and it actually dropped my temps. It was a case fan. I put it on the side of my case, pointed directly at the CPU, pretty much, and it dropped the temps by 7 to 8 degrees. It was amazing. I was getting 85 degrees temps. When I fit this fan, 77. Full load, Cinebench. Although Cinebench, it's not a foolproof bench marking tool. It doesn't stress test it as much as some games will, which I was surprised at. I thought this must be some kind of 4K video rendering thing, or even 8K, if it's really stress testing the PC. Okay, if it passed Cinebench and I get decent temps, I'm alright. But I've had instances where I put a game on, and that does stress test it more than Cinebench. So yeah, test it also with your most demanding game. For me at the time it was Warhammer 1. For some reason that gets hot. Yeah, which is interesting because Warhammer 2 doesn't. Yeah, I think it's just inefficient. Warhammer 1 it's making it unnecessarily hot, the system. But yeah, I mean, I test with Warhammer 2 now because I'm not really playing with Warhammer 1. Back in the day, here we go, show my age here. Back in the day, it would be, can it handle Command & Conquer 3 Brutal Skirmish? If it could handle Command & Conquer 3 Brutal Skirmish, it could pretty much handle anything, okay. I mean, that I actually rate that command. I mean, I rate Command & Conquer 3 as one of the best games. And you probably think, well, why? You know, it wasn't that great. It's because of that Brutal Skirmish mode, guys. Play Command & Conquer 3 on Brutal Skirmish and you'll know what I'm talking about. If you can handle it, that is. Yeah, if you're good enough. I mean, I found out how to beat AI a long time ago. Okay, you find its little weakness, you cheat essentially, as AI does way too often. But it's not really cheating, it's just strategy. You find a strategy that works and you double down on it, okay? And you do so as quick as possible so that it can't adapt. That's how you beat AI. Maybe not in the future though, because it will be too good at adapting. Oh dear. Now, alright, I'm going to tell you how to win on Command and Conquer 3 Brutal Skirmish now. I'm going to give it away, alright guys? If you're playing as Nod, what you need to do is get as many of those Venom Viper aircraft, yeah? Build as many of those Viper things. I'm talking like up to 50, yeah? And then just right flank the enemy. And you'll just come into their base. They'll be unprotected, you know, on one of the flanks. And you can just blitzkrieg the guys, alright? That's how you win. Even if it means sacrificing some of your base to do it, alright? It's tactics like that is how you beat AI, okay? Yeah. Anyway, there we go guys, another video on how to overclock and make the most of Intel Extreme Tuning Utility. Download this guys, okay, it's epic. Oh, I've got an older version here. The Office one is 7.14. And trust me, I've tweaked so much trying to get anything to work, you know, everything and anything. And just leave that on adaptive, okay. It's the best way. Only undervolt if you absolutely have to, and bear in mind it might switch that to static, which you don't want it to do if you start tweaking here. I'm not sure if that's the case with the... Okay, let's just undervolt a tad and see, is it going to switch that from adaptive to static? It might not on this one. No, good. It must be set to adaptive plus offset. So I could, you know, drop this a bit, but I'm not going to. Yeah. And if you're using an older version, an older CPU, you may have to settle for fixed, yeah, override. But the problem with that is, if you got to do that because it doesn't offer stuff like this, then you can't really get the best overclock. All right. I think nowadays you've got to go for a 13th gen so that you can get a great overclock out of it using these settings, which you don't get with my 10th gen. I don't know if it's just me or what, but I don't get my 10th gen i9 in the office doesn't have these options. Yeah, gutted. So I've had to fix it at 4.6 gigahertz, which, you know, it should be doing 5 at least. But because I can't fine tweak the temps like this, 4.6 is the safest I can leave it at. Alright. Because of the temps it reaches. I've got it I've got it stable at 83 degrees C, running Cinebench 2024, and at 4.6 fixed. But I really wanted to do this with it, like I can with my 13th gen, yeah, my i5. Now, when I'm at full load with this, hang on, where's my crop? There we are. You can see I've not been running anything that intense, gaming or anything like that, and it gives it little boosts here and there when it knows it can. Look at that, it boosted it to 5.8, yeah, momentarily. It's steady at 5.3, and then little boosts. Again, another great reason to use thermal velocity boost. What did it do there? 5.7. It likes to boost it to 5.7 now and then. Nice, thank you very much. But when at full load, like if I started running Warhammer 2, I think it would reach, temp wise, it'd reach here pretty quick, okay, and it would drop it, cores 1 and 2 to 5.1, yeah, but the other cores it would drop it to 4.9, yeah, you see that? Yeah, 5.3 minus 4 total. So when I'm running Warhammer 2, it tends to drop it to 4.9, and you'll see that here, okay, it'll be a steady 4.9, but again, occasionally it'll boost it, yeah, little boosts, even when I'm at full load in Warhammer 2, so that's good, yeah. It knows what it's doing now. Great. I don't have to override everything. There you go, guys. There's some settings that will work. You won't have mysterious problems with your computer starting up and having to unplug a bunch of peripherals, you know, 1 or 2 peripherals just so it'll boot if you leave this on adaptive, okay? If you don't want to be pulling your hair out, messing around, oh, what's going on now, just leave that on adaptive, or even better, adaptive plus offset, so you can still tweak this, yeah, and not have to worry. Alright then, guys, there we go, another video on overclocking. If I did a channel, yeah, an IT channel, dude, it would have been so much more successful, I know it would. And you know, I kind of know my stuff, you know, I've been doing it since I was younger, and it just, I would have had more success with it, I know I would, but my ministry is more important, guys. I hope you understand that and can appreciate that. Getting out the message, the word of God, is more important, and that's why I chose to do that instead. It may have been the wrong decision because YouTube algorithm just really isn't in my favour doing a Christian channel, and I've had like the least success. Oh dear. Those are the hardships of what I do, unfortunately, but I've done it nonetheless, and I'm going to keep doing it, and it's more important, guys, okay? I do a one-off video like this for my benefit as well, really, so I can come back and check every now and then. Yeah, but you know, next video is going to be ministry related, okay? What was I going to do? I was going to do my Quake video. Yes, Remember I did part 1 of the Quake video? Yeah, I'm going to be doing part 2 soon. And I'm going to be remastering some of my older stuff, okay? Now that I've discovered the benefits of AI. I can now use AI to my advantage. I did so with the last Enoch's Portals 2 video. Wow. Thank you very much, AI. Now I can just tell AI exactly what my image to look like without having to try, you know, in some cases hours to tweak, well, just to find what I want in my image and cut and paste it all together and do all kinds of other stuff. And then it still wouldn't really portray what I wanted it to, but AI can now. You tell it exactly what you want it to portray, and it will get it spot on. And be like, yes, thank you. In fact, it'll be better than what you know, than what you wanted. Yeah, I've discovered AI, this AI tool, image generation, and I'll be doing it for future videos. And well, check out that Enoch's Portals 2 video, guys. You'll see what I'm talking about. Wow. Yeah, so that's coming up, guys. I'm remastering a bunch of my older videos with the benefit of AI image generation. And I have considered paraphrase, AI paraphrasing, just to paraphrase some of my scripts. However, the last time it did it, the only thing I took out of it was one keyword, okay? The rest just sounded more human. Yeah, the rest of my script sounded more human and more my writing style. And I preferred it. I must admit, I preferred it to what AI paraphrased it as. So I'll try paraphrasing other scripts, you know, some of my older scripts, and see how it does. But most of the time, I don't really need to. Okay. Anyway, that's coming up, guys. Yeah. Future videos are going to be really epic. Check out that Enoch's Portals 2 video. Yeah, pretty good. It's good stuff. Okay. Alright. See you later then, guys. Have a good one. I hope this helps. And yeah, coming up, more ministry videos. Preaching the gospel. Alright, take it easy. God bless. I'll see you later.